Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, hello. I am so not feeling my eyebrows right now. I tried a new product and this is not the business. It's too late to take it off. I gotta take it off, you guys. I just gotta take it off. It's like waterproof. Oh shit. Anyways, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Is everyone doing better than my brows? Because it's stuck to my forehead now. Anyways, welcome to my channel, you guys. I'm going to be doing a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Also for those of us who find ourselves on this channel, not knowing why. You're probably an empath and you probably need a few laughs. Basing it on my eyebrow issue right now, you probably are in need of a few laughs. Okay? All right. Anyways, that's the best I was going to do. They're stuck to my forehead, like glued down at this point because I wiped it. Anyways, let's get started. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is can't pretend anymore. I don't know what you're pretending, you know? Are you pretending you're okay with something? Are you pretending that I don't know. Let's see. Oh, gorilla brows are super sexy, girlfriend. I'm just saying. I have alopecia, so like I used to have thicker, like much thicker brows. People used to ask me what products do I use, and I'm like, shit. I didn't put anything in my brows, and now they're like super thin. I think this part's gonna go bald in a little bit. It's okay. It's part of my aging process. It's okay. It's okay. All right, let's get some cards. Oh no, I don't want to use this deck. I want to use this shit talking deck. It cracks me up. All right, let me just shuffle these cards. So, okay. Same here. Each pregnancy, my hair got thinner, my eyebrows got thinner. Like, I don't shave my arms. I used to be fuzzy AF. I'm like hairless. I got maybe like, I don't know, 2 armpit hairs. Yeah. Someone asked me if I got electrolysis. I am electrolysis. Who knows? Who knows? Let's get some cards from here and then let's get started. All right. Okay. I'll read it a certain way. Let's see. Okay, releasing allegiances, letting go, just letting go of whatever you think you're supposed to do, the role you're supposed to play for people, letting people really just have the full result of whatever they've created with you, for you, because of you, in spite of you, whatever it is. Stop trying to save things, stop trying to work it out. Ooh. Sometimes we have to realize, like, we try to work it out, whatever it is, only for it to be the very thing that imprisons us. We have to stop doing that. We have to let go of our fear of people hurting if we walk away. We have to let go of this sense of like, we are going to save this, salvage this, like whatever this, because it's always at your detriment. when you are a highly caring, highly sensitive empath, it's always at your detriment doing these things. And it's almost this logic of, well, it's okay if I hurt, and as long as everyone else is okay. That type of living is no longer okay. That type of mindset, that type of logic, that type of whatever you want to call it, it's no longer okay, because it's actually what's leading to you thinking that's all you deserve. It amplifies this sense of, this is how life is, this is what I deserve. Um, like in my culture, in my culture, many, not all, but many women, if their husband or boyfriend or whatever cheats on them or treats them poorly, it's kind of like, that's how it is, that's just how it is. No, that's not how it is. That's how we allow it to be, and those are two different things. When you think that that's how it is, you're giving passive permission for it to be that. Is it actually that? Not unless you choose to allow it to be that. Yeah, and my culture is not the only culture like this. There are so many other cultures where people, especially the women, okay, not just the women, sometimes it applies to the men, but especially the women. We are conditioned to believe, well, this is just how it is. Like, why are you being extra? Why are you being difficult? Like, I used to be asked that, like, why are you just so rebellious? Why are you being difficult? Because you're telling me I can't do something that's simple simply because I'm a girl. So, no, I'm not arguing with you, but no, I'm not going to listen to you either. I'm not going to listen to you, And is it our job to listen to everyone? Is it our obligation, because we exist, to have to listen to everyone, be everyone's punching bag? And I do want to kind of pepper a little extra truth on top of this statement. There are extremely toxic empaths and Pisceans. There are some of us who are so hot diggity dang toxic that we're the ones. No, not we. I'm not even going to claim that space with y'all. Y'all toxic ones make the rest of us look very, very crazy, very, very toxic, very, very manipulative. Every group has toxic people. Every group has toxic people. You have to be able to call yourself out on your own toxicity. You have to. You have to. It's part of being an adult. So the inspiration card came upside down. We're feeling very uninspired during this period. We're feeling very, very uninspired. We're feeling as though maybe life is upside down. Maybe we're feeling like the things that we once agreed to is now coming back to sting us in the ass. Maybe maybe there's a lot of things that you're regretting right now that you're wishing you could take back, and you don't know how to take it back. You don't know. Let me just lower this real quick. You don't know if you have a right to. You don't. You've changed your mind, and what? You've changed your mind. That has to be communicated. It counts for something. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to grow to the degree that now you see things differently, and now you don't feel like you should comply. What we sometimes think is worth the investment, after some time, we realize it's not. And if you realize that it's not worth the investment, then you need to stop investing more time and energy into it. That's just bottom line. Once you begin to have experienced enough that you realize what you have volunteered for is not in alignment, maybe you misunderstood, maybe someone wasn't completely honest, maybe, we don't really know. The reality You can change your mind. And if you change your mind, the outcome should also be allowed to change. Your sense of obligation should also be allowed to change. Okay. Michael says, we have to make sure that these changes aren't simply a form of avoidance, though. Okay. Where maybe you committed to something, to seeing something through, and suddenly you realize that this goes far deeper into your truth and you than you realized, than you thought it would. Maybe the connection is much deeper. And so you've changed your mind simply because the connection is much deeper. And that's scary to connect with people to that degree. So you have to be mindful, is what you're deciding, this change of mind, based on avoidance? Because Pisceans and empaths are very good at avoidance. We're very, very good at it. So we've closed ourselves off from hearing the truth. Avoidance. Oh, shoot. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. God. I knew it. My psychic skills are bomb diggy. I already knew it. Live stream is done. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Let me just mute myself. Michael is laughing. I'm having some sinus drainage now. Third eye drainage. I'm having throat chakra drainage. Okay, let me just get in control of myself. I so knew it. I was like, oh, you're feeling uninspired. Oh, you're not listening. And I'm over here like, how much you want to bet? Somewhere in this deck is a specific card. Not listening. I was like, someone's trying to say something. We're not listening. We're avoiding. Okay. Okay. Flat out. I knew it. Anyways, power of attraction. So you're totally, totally not listening. You're not listening. Let me just. Okay, why are you avoiding? Why are you avoiding? Notice how I'm saying you. We're no longer saying we. This is no longer a group reading. I've extricated myself from the group. I'm here to assist. This is no longer a group read. I am listening so damn. It's making me hot. It's making me so hot. Okay, let's just go like this. Okay, why are you not listening? For real, why are you not listening? What are we supposed to listen to, Michael? Because I listen so well these days, you know? He checked my ass. I've been behaving ever since. Mhm. I only need one public lashing to listen. I'm just saying, what are you guys not listening to? Is there something? Is there something? Coming out of the water, structured. He looks like The Witcher. Have you guys seen that show, The Witcher? Okay, hold on. So the feminine is rising from the depths of her heart's oceans. She's come to the surface. I assume this person is a surface dweller. A surface dweller. They don't like others to go into the depths of places that make them feel exposed, make them feel uncomfortable, make them feel as though there's some sort of concern. Um Hmm. Ooh. I'm about to say some stuff, okay? I'm about to say some stuff. This person, whoever this is for you, is very insecure within themselves. I'm not trying to talk badly. I'm just sharing what's being said to me. This person is very, very insecure in themselves and they don't know where they fit into this world. They've been grasping and grasping and grasping at straws, but these straws are nothing but reeds in the stream. They're being dragged downstream. It's a raging current. They're probably a powerful swimmer. But after a certain point, if you're fighting against the current for so long, you become exhausted. And now they're exhausted and they're grasping at straws. Well, it's like a mistake. I'm still good. I'm still- Am I still buffering? Put all four letters. Can y'all hear and see me? Look like we made it. Look how far I'm up, baby. I'm glad we didn't listen. Look at what we were missing. They say, happy. Am I still buffering? We'll never make it, but just look at us holding on. We're still okay. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so it's like this visual. This this poor fella is okay. So they're being pushed down the stream, being pushed down the stream, being pushed down the stream. They've been trying to swim. They are strong. They're a strong swimmer. They're strong. But they've been at this for so long that it's exhausted them. And so they're like grasping for anything. But they are reeds. These are things that like uproot. And there's nothing tangible to really hold on to outside of the raft. Outside of the raft, right? There's a raft in that river. You are that raft. And I can't believe I'm giving this information because it's kind of like romanticizing this BS cycle because I absolutely believe it's a BS cycle. But, you know, sometimes people need to learn that they're out of their element and need some help and need to put their pride down, right? They need to let go of the pride because it's almost like pride is this heavy, heavy boulder that's been chained to their hips, been chained to their waist, shackled, and they can't properly swim. And that's why they're so exhausted. It has increased their strength, but at what cost? At the cost of their drowning. And you are that raft, but they refuse. They refuse to even put one hand on that raft because then it would be like, okay, I admit I actually needed your presence. And part of the issue here is that this individual is someone who's very structured and it's almost this sense of it. I called them the surface dweller because they tried to exist on the surface level because it's uncomfortable and very lonely to exist at the depth they naturally exist at. They don't let people that deep. And I guess what ended up happening was you were able to go that deep and you didn't have to hold your breath. And then when you swam away, when there was this separation that occurred, um, it's almost as though they forced themselves to have this like superficial existence. I don't know what needs to happen. What do you feel? What do you feel? Do you feel like it's time? Do you feel like it's time to reassess certain things within yourself? Do you feel like it's time to seek out more truth for yourself? You can't pretend anymore that you're okay where you're at. I think that's the bottom line to this. You can't pretend anymore. Whatever it is you're pretending, you can't pretend anymore. It's not going to work. It's not a feasible type of task to keep pretending and keep pretending. There's a lot of people who pretend. There's a lot of people who find it much easier to pretend that it's okay. You don't care. You this and you that. But really, if you really didn't want them back, if you really didn't want them to come around, why would you still be listening right now? I know I'm not the only Piscean or empath that when it comes to a certain topic that I was just like, it doesn't resonate. I'm out. I'm just out. I'm off doing something else. I've been watching bonsai videos for quite some time. Past few weeks, like I binge watch bonsai videos. And the moment it doesn't resonate, like I don't care if that person, that content creator is doing a video on something that I wanted to do or that I was super interested in. The moment it doesn't resonate because it's not my truth, it's something I'm not going to do, I'm out. I click off. So now we have to reassess what is the truth here. Have you not let go of someone yet? Um, and you're trying to convince yourself to let go. And it's not to say that they belong in your life. It's to say that it's time for you to really recognize where you're at within your process, right? Um, and when we begin saying these things of "I hate them," oftentimes when you've had a connection with someone and you hate them, not all the time, obviously, but oftentimes, especially when it comes to romance, it's because you feel the polar opposite of what you're stating, but they've done something, they've withheld something, they've hurt or harmed you in some way that you find yourself experiencing the polarity, the polar opposite of where you're actually anchored, which is in a place of love. What is the difference between love and hate? They are not two separate things. They are not opposite things. Now, saying they're in opposite polarity is basically saying they're the same thing, but at differing positions on that same plane of existence. And you can't tell me, well, you can try, but I'm not going to hear it. Well, no, they're two different things, Emmie. Okay, if they were not the same thing, at what point does love become hate? You have love on the right, you have hate on the left. And as you slide that marker, the further to the left you slide that marker from love, love begins to diminish. It begins to shift in your perception of it. And you just slide it, slide it, slide it. At what point is that hate? We don't really know. It depends on the person. But here's the thing. In order to exist on that plane of existence, it has to be of the same thing, just differing positions. Yeah. Differing positions. Where are you in that positioning? Ooh, Michael points out you can lead a horse to water, but free will. Horses will never drink from toxicity. That's what Michael said. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I've watched so many shows growing up, and one of the things, there's always certain things that stick in my mind after I watch any type of documentary, right? I'm so big on documentaries, it's ridiculous. Documentaries and technical manuals. Oh, good God, yes. And poetry. So those three things are my shit. So I remember watching this documentary on a tribe that lived in a region where there wasn't much water. And sometimes what they would do is they would let the horse lead them to the water. They wouldn't lead the horse. The horse knows, can sense where the water is. And part of how they would test if the water was toxic is if the horse won't drink from it, they know not to drink from it either. Oh, I understand the implications though. That was rude, Michaela. That was rude. That was rude. Mm. A horse would never drink from the ocean. It never would. Nor would a horse drink from some stagnant water. And maybe it's time for us to recognize we become stagnant in our expectations, our preconceived notions of how this is supposed to play out. Like we know it all. You know what I mean? Like they're supposed to be with us. You know, I'm gonna be. Michael says to be really honest. This is what drove me away from my own counterpart. This whole concept is what drove me away from my own counterpart because I had too many people telling me that I needed to end my marriage because this is where I needed to be. This was the person. This was my person. And in my heart, I know I've already found my person. I've been living my whole fucking life with my person. And that is my truth as I feel it to be. I'm sick and tired of that narrative. I am. I am sick and tired of that narrative. And maybe it's wrong of me to have punished this person and been so vile in my attitude and rejection of this whole topic. And that all stems from so many people telling me that I'm making mistakes in my life because of some logic that your twin has to be romantic with you. That narrative has to stop. Not a twin, not a soulmate, not a person is obligated to be with someone else, especially if someone is toxic. And it's very toxic to believe, even if it's wholeheartedly believe, that anyone has to be with you in any type of capacity because you believe it. That's toxic. It's toxic. So, asking me what I feel, that's what I feel down to my core. That is what I feel down to my core. Don't ever tell me who I should be with, who my person is, who I'm supposed to love. I'm capable of loving strangers. Please. Just because I have love for people does not mean they belong in my life, does not mean they have a place at my table, does not mean I am making a feast for them to consume. Everyone in my life is a reflection of something important. So I must choose carefully. What is important to me? What is important to me? And I've made my choices. Learning is also important, but I can learn in the absence of people. That shows my growth. That shows my tenacity. That shows how strong I actually am. And again, Michael says I need to clarify. I'm not angry at a person. The whole topic of it irks the heck out of me. I'm pretty sure my counterpart is an amazing, amazing person. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they're so freaking fabulous and amazing and powerful and tapped into to sensitivity and is an amazing person to grow with and all of that wonderful. So I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. If we're reflections, I mean, really, there's no other way that that person could be if they're truly a counterpart. The human aspect is truly a counterpart. That's fine. They can be amazing, but they can also be just as wounded and just as in need of separation and silence as I've been. so that I can sort through the lessons of my life and have it be about me and my growth. Is your journey about you and your growth? Or do you come here and share space with me so that, you can hear the things you need to hear, but are you really hearing it? Are you really hearing it? Or do you still have your ego muffs on, those earmuffs you wear on your ears that don't allow you to let yourself actually hear that maybe you're the issue? And being the issue in a circumstance does not mean you're a bad person. It means you have been blinding and deafening yourself, whatever it's called, covering your ears to the fact that you are creating your own issues. Not that you are the problem, but you are your own issue. Your refusal to let go of logic that paints you as the one that was abandoned in a situation where they were never obligated to devote their entire life to you. See, I hear a lot of people talking about, like, my twin abandoned me. According to whom? But they're my twin. And? Well, they're supposed to be with me. Who said? Who said? In what capacity? But we're twins. We're supposed to be together. Emmie, that's what twins do. No. That's actually not what twins do. That's not what twins do. Twins live their lives. They make their decisions, they live their lives, and they love each other in such a way that sets the other free. Free to decide where they will be, when they will be there, who will be present, who they will listen to, who they will be in a romantic, intimate relationship with, all of these different things. Yep. All of these different things. Trust me, I've searched the Akashic. I've searched, there's more than one Akashic, right? Macro to micro. You have a secondary set that's specifically pertaining to you. And then there's the Akashic records that are for the collective whole of all of conscious creation. There's also one for the Matrix. So there's actually more than two. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like the Congressional Library, the regional library, the city library, the personal library. You don't have all the books. You don't have all the books. And we sit here and we really try and force this whole narrative. It's a narrative. The storyline of the twin flames was released and propagated by Draconian methods. Draconian. They're overlords. They're a highly parasitic, highly aggressive, extremely very skilled, extremely manipulative race. Extremely. Do you think reptilians are bad? Do you think gray is bad? The answer to Draconian. Many of the wars that have been waged in this star system, in this galaxy, it's due to Draconians. They're the ones waging wars. That's who you're listening to. They're the ones that also allowed for the release and public dissemination of Reiki. Oh, but Reiki's not bad. The practitioners are not bad. Many of the practitioners are unaware of this. Many of the practitioners entered into that Reiki teaching because they have a desire to help. Do you see how manipulative Draconians are? They exploit your purpose, your desire, what you seek. They exploit that. So then how is Reiki bad? Well, first, it's a draconian system. Secondly, it codes the person to leave a backdoor entry. And I've said this before, practitioners don't know this. But having a back code entry, that's the equivalent of giving a transient your garage door opener. When do they come back? When do they open that garage door? I mean, unless your family is like mine, like a while back, this place we were staying at, the garage door suddenly opened. So we didn't realize that a garage door opener was in my purse. And my husband had been going through my purse to find something. And as he was doing this, we heard the garage door open. And unless your family's like mine, he's now armed at the front door. I'm now armed, waiting at the back door at the garage. Draco's getting in. It doesn't do it to everything or everyone. They're highly selective, and you never know when they will come. You never know when. They don't tell you when. It's usually at the most inopportune time. It's usually when you're super busy and super preoccupied. And that's who you want to believe about twin flame stuff? Ooh, I love that. We have lived in separation for 31 years and have had amazing lives apart. Yes. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Living your lives. And every once in a while, when it's needed, when it's necessary, coming back together and having conversations, being able to talk and kind of see your reflection thriving when you're in a place of like low point. I mean, that's a beautiful thing to be able to do that. That's a very beautiful thing to be able to do that, where you're not dependent on them being around you, that they're not obligated to create and sustain happiness, purpose for you. That's how I know you're not toxic, unicorn fish. I'll pick you up when the world goes to caca. I'll pick you up, girlfriend. um, yeah. Well, there's beauty in the fact that you've been able to go through so much, that you've been able to see and experience so much on your own and not become bitter at the fact that where were you? I needed you at year 4. Where were you? Excuse me. That there's no ownership there. There might be a longing, there might be a wanting, but there's no ownership there. There's no sense of obligation. There is a freedom to explore, to live, to grow, to expand. And I mean, in your case specifically, unicorn fish, how do we know that he didn't need to go through this entire life without you? Because 31 years and separate, that's huge. That's been your entire lifetime already. How do we not know he had to go through all of these things in order to be the person at the level that's required, that's worthy of you? So that he could be cultivated in such a way that he would be more worthy of you. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Card number 43, come to life. Allowing yourself to come to life. Allowing yourself to see that the places where the cracks are, because many of us are fracturing at this point, the places where the cracks are the places where the growth is allowed to occur. Hold on, guys. Okay. Ooh, upside down, free from judgment, free to love. So you potentially have been very judgy, entering into this place of condemny. You know, judgment is okay. Judgment is a necessary part of discernment. Condemnation is okay. Condemnation is not okay. Where unless someone agrees, unless someone complies, you are now condemning them to this mental, emotional hell that you created in your head, where they deserve to suffer if they're not with me. That's why they're unhappy. I got a few choice things to say that I'm going to just keep to myself. I'm going to just keep that to myself. And for those who, you're like, no, give us our message. No, I was just going to say some bad words and ugly stuff. There's no message there. I was just going to be rotten, and I'm trying to exercise some sort of, self control, impulse control, self regulation. The word wants to be written upside down. There's no communication. No communication. And maybe that's how it needs to be for now. I don't know. For some, it's this sense of like, for some, it's this sense of, I don't want to say it either. For some, it's a sense of move on, leave them alone. Like that's not even a twin thing. It's obsession for some. For others, it's more of this gentler message of, that window for communication has been closed for now. There might be communication later on. There probably will be some sort of communication later on. Right now, a new cycle has started for learning, for growth. Michael. Michael. He goes, he says it's important. I'll share it. He says the people who need to hear the more negative aspects of the messages tend to be the people who need to hear it the most, but they don't want to hear the truth of the reality that they are the issue. They are their own issue. I personally believe, this is my personal belief, we need to allow ourselves to be the very thing that regulates ourselves. What that means is it's not for someone to tell you outright, unless you're asking because you're needing confirmation. It's not for me to tell you, this is what you have to believe. You're the problem. You're the problem, and you have to agree with me. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I do agree with giving you guys the messages that I'm told, encouraged to share. But I currently don't agree with Michael being forceful. Michael's a very impatient one. I'm pretty much the only thing that I know of that he's patient with. Everything else, it's very militant. It's very like, you need to do this now. No, sir. I'm going to sip some coffee and consider your request. Okay, that's not so bad. Sitting, sipping, sitting, sipping. So, card number 34, in the world, not of the world. If you're in the world, not of the world, and so is your counterpart, then that means it is absolutely wrong and immoral of you to have of the world expectations of someone who is not of the world, but simply in this world. That's how it goes. You want to place all of these, very elevated concepts wrapped up in tidy labels on an individual. That's galactic. That's celestial. That's non human. That type of connection, it's non human. And then you want to enforce some sort of very limited, very stringent, very strict human expectations on someone who has a connection with you that's non human. It's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works. It's not. I've already found my person to have this human experience with in a romantic way. I'm fully invested in that. Like fully invested in that. I've made my human decisions. Galactic, celestial, non-human decisions. I'm open to having a friend, not a sexual partner, a friend, a coworker, a spiritual confidant. I'm open to that. I'm not so obtuse and irretractable that I'm like, no. No, if there's work that needs to be done on an energetic level, if they need an ear to listen because they're going through things in their life, that's fine. If you're reaching out because you need a sexual encounter, I'm good. No, thank you. I don't like most people in that way. Today, there's only one that I like in that way. I don't think that's going to be changing. As a matter of fact, let me be more truthful. I'm fucking sure that's not going to be changing. Yes, that's not going to be changing. The most beautiful thing about this conversation is you're witnessing the truth of sovereignty. I could not give less of a caca what everyone is saying about their human expectations of twin connections. You don't tell me how to think or what to believe. I choose that on my own. That's the truth of sovereignty. Well, Emmie, like, oh my God, just this guru. Okay, we'll go to that guru. I'm not a guru. I'm a stay-at-home mom and a wife. No, but a stay-at-home mom and a wife. But there's no buts. The statement is complete as I said it. I am a stay-at-home mom and a wife. No one gets to tell you how to identify. If I'm not going to identify as your sexual partner, because that's what most people, let's break it on down to the nitty-gritty. Okay? Let's go into the spaces between the gravel. It's about sex. It's about sex. You want that twin flame for sex. Tell me you don't. Okay, so then why is it hard for you to have them be with someone else? Because it's about sex, ownership of their sex. That's the most basic human thing. That's the most basic animalistic thing where you are trying to secure a partner to procreate with. For the basic thought, need of the survival of the species. Is that all you are? Animalistic. Very serious questions here. You can dress it up all you want. This whole twin flame program, what is it called? I forgot the word. Starts with a P. Campaign. That does not start with a P. It doesn't start with a P. There's a P in it. You were close, girlfriend. You were close. It was a good try. Campaign. The twin flame campaign. It's a campaign. They're selling you a logic. They're selling you a concept. It's a campaign. Okay. It's all about sex. It's all about sex because the end goal is to secure a sexual partner. And we're romanticizing, we're adding in this extra, like, you know, you guys are meant to be. It's like the highest spiritual connection. That's like, they were selling these couches years ago, right? They were selling these couches years ago. And because I was in the market for a couch and I'm like, ooh, what? I'm familiar with leather. I didn't want to spend for leather. And this is what I was telling the person. And I was like, I love the feeling of micro suede. It's like super soft, it's durable, but I don't want to spend for leather. And like, that stains. I have kids, like, we can't really do that. And oh, they sold me. Oh, I have the perfect thing for you. This sectional is micro. What's it called? Micro. Why am I thinking about micro needling? You guys know that fabric, micro something. God damn. I was just thinking of it in my head. It's a fabric. It's a fabric. It's very soft. And they're like, yeah, the way microfiber. Yes. Yes. It's microfiber. And I was like, what? It's vegan, animal friendly, cruelty free. It's microfiber. And look at this. Like, you could spill stuff on it, you could just wipe it right off. It's cloth. Synthetic cloth that's been treated by chemicals. Oh, but Lord, the campaign. Microfiber is the new environmentally vegan, cruelty free micro suede. It's fabric. It's a fabric couch. It's fabric. Synthetic fabric. I was sold. All I needed to hear were these like virtue signaling words. Ooh, vegan, sustainable, this and that. I'm going to do it. I'm evolved. I'm, no, it doesn't stain because it's treated with chemicals. That's why. It's treated with chemicals. It's sprayed on. I mean, if you want the feeling of suede in a relationship, but instead are aiming for microfiber. What does that mean, Emmie? It means if you want suede, you got to put in the time, the blood, sweat, and tears, the investment in that suede. Not only do you need to be able to be spiritually rich enough to afford that suede, you have to put in the maintenance in order for that suede to maintain its beauty. But we got all these people here, but it's microfiber. It's hip. Okay, I mean, I got no problem with microfiber, but that's not suede, baby boo. That's not suede. That's not suede. This is the culture we live in. Like, ooh, I love the look of leather pants. This is vegan leather, though. I have a disdain at this point for people who claim and identify as vegan, but still covet the look, the texture, the taste, the flavor of dead animal. If you are truly vegan, don't go for the leather pants. Don't go for the aesthetic of wearing the skin of a dead animal. Because it makes you look asinine. It makes you look asinine. It really, really does. Like, I'm vegan, I eat Impossible burgers, and I don't have a hatred for vegans. I don't. It's a certain subset within that group that I just have a disdain for, because they're in that and tainting the entire imagery of that group as a whole, because they tend to be the most toxic and the most vocal about their toxicity. This applies for every single group. The toxic empaths, the toxic Pisceans. Whew, a toxic empath is a narcissist. Narcissists are empaths. They just went to the dark end. Didn't know that, did you? How do you think they know how to play you? How do you think they know how to play you? How do you think they know how to exploit and what to exploit about you, about your insecurities? They're harvesting information. They get you to talk about yourself, and then they read the triggers where you get triggered into this place of remembering this thing, and you live through that, and now they've harvested that information. And we all have varying degrees of narcissistic tendencies. It does not mean you're a narcissist. Doesn't mean you're a narcissist. But when you reach a certain level of lack of flexibility in your thought, where it's just your way, it's just your way, they belong to, that's narcissistic AF. That's a narcissist. Let me love you to the degree that I can speak truth to you. And let me deliver that truth in such a way that it serves as a blade that slices through the layers of pretense and bullshit. What you believe might not be truth. Your perceptions might be growing in actual bullshit. I don't think you're a bad person. I think you need to be loved to the degree at this point where someone can actually reach you to your core. So the truth of who you are can once again come out. If that's you, leave the person alone. They're probably not even your twin. Stop obsessing about them. Stop harassing them with your energy. Stop fixating and trying to manifest this concept of they belong to you. They will end up with you. Eventually, not speaking to anyone in particular, but eventually they'll be thirsty enough and come back. I think horses would rather die than drink from toxic water. I love horses. I love horses because they own themselves. Like, they don't like your energy, they'll bite the shit out of you. They're not like cats. I love cats too. Cats are like, touch me, not too fast. Okay, not too much. But don't go away. But don't touch me. Don't look at me. But stay right beside me. Okay. Okay, I'm leaving now. Cats. Horses are more gentle in their approach. They're just like, no, no, I'm just going to go the other way. Horses know. Years ago, I went to go visit my friend. She's just amazing, amazing woman, right? So much love for her. I went to go visit her, and she's really big into horses. She's like, oh, come with me to the farm so that, because she needed to take care of her horse. I'm like, okay. So we went, and her horse is kept in a huge corral, right? It's just like a huge, maybe 2 or 3 acre fenced off area. And her horse was paired with another horse. I think his name was Bubba. He was like golden brown and his hair was blonde. Bubba. Her horse is like an Arabian, right? So we go in there, and Bubba is being a total dick to her horse and like won't let him eat. She just gave them hay and stuff, or alfalfa, whatever they feed the horses. And Bubba is trying to bite her horse and chase him away from the food. And she goes, oh my God. And I was like, Bubba. He looks over at me. I put out my hand like this. I have nothing in it. Puts up his ears and starts trotting directly to me. Puts his face in my hand. I look over at my friend, and she's like, oh my God. And I was like, was that wrong thing? Am I not supposed to touch him? And she goes, he doesn't let anyone touch him. I was like, really? She goes, I've never seen him do this before. That's not her horse. That's someone else's horse. And I was like, really? And now I'm like, I'm touching all over his face. I'm touching his neck, all over the face. And he's just standing there loving it. She goes, yeah, the owners have had him for quite some time and he's a little shit. They have to chase him on an ATV. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, he's a little shit. I was like, oh my God. She goes, you're something else. And I was like, no. She goes, yeah, he came straight to you. He doesn't do that to anyone. He does not come to anyone. And if he knows you're coming for him, no matter how nice you are, he's going to take off. He's going to, no, he's just a dick. Bubba kept biting her horse just because, I mean, he was already full. He didn't want to eat. He was just being a dick. But boy, oh boy, I called him one time, said his name one time. He came trotting to me like he loved me. He devote himself to me. Yeah. And my friend, animals are so drawn to her. Like my dog Shiva was in love with her. Like in love with her. Like loved her more than me, I think. And Shiva adores me. I'm the mama. Not when she's around. I'm like a stepmama. Yeah. All animals are drawn to her. She's the most amazing, most gentle, most beautiful soul. But Bubba ain't trying to have none of that. Yeah. She's like, he doesn't even like people looking at him. Horses know. Horses know. I would trust a horse more than I would a human. I would definitely trust a horse more than I would a human. Card number 44, visions of life beyond death. Whatever this is, it has to be allowed to die off. Whatever it is, it has to be allowed to die off this cycle. It's, let your love for them die. If it dies, if you make it your goal to allow that love you have for someone to die and it dies, that wasn't love. That was a human concept of love, which is not actually true love. It's codependency, it's ownership, it's jealousy, it's covetous, it's all these really negative things. All these really negative things. It's real love when you let it die, and it doesn't die, nor does it require their presence or agreement. You don't have to explain yourself. So, card number 28, collaborative dreaming, upside down. These are nightmares at this point. Someone is living through a nightmare, and it feels like it's a subtle nightmare. It feels like it's just something they don't want other people to know about. You know what I mean? It's like it's just something that they're going through very silently. They're just going through it very, very silently. Ugh. No, this is not private reading time. I'm not going to say that. Card number 40, Sacred Fool. Sacred Fool. Knowing that you're the one controlling the strings. You're the only one holding the strings for you in your journey through your life. You're the only one. You're the only one. You're the one in control. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. So I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. I feel like it's inappropriate personally, because this is a general reading for whoever, is present, recorded or live. Um, but Michael says it adds to the collective learning of whoever sees. So, Tina, Michael would like to address you directly. Again, I don't agree with this. You write, my metaphor of a horse is my way of not feeling betrayed and left for dead. Abuse is not love. Um, he wants to point out that anytime any comments from me that are directed at the general whole as a part of my thinking out loud, not as addressing someone specifically, but as me thinking out loud. Anytime anything I say contradicts what you've written, you feel the need to come and explain why you were misunderstood and why you're not in the wrong. It's not for me to tell you you're in the wrong, but I'm now being tasked to illustrate that you refuse to hear anything unless it goes with what you say. That's an issue. That's an issue. Not for me. It's not an issue for me. That's what he says. I'm quoting him. That's an issue. And he also says this perception of being left for dead. Pretending to die is not the same as being left for dead. And using, I don't even want to. I'm good. I'm good. I'm sorry, girl. Whatever other messages he has, nope, I'm good. I'm good. So, secret. Like I said, there's something that someone is going through that feels like it's almost like a nightmare for them, like a very silent nightmare. They're keeping it very secret. I don't know who they refers to. I don't know if it's you or the person or what, but they are keeping this a very deeply buried secret, something to do with emotion, security. So this ties back to this whole thing of, where's that at? Their fear, because you were able to tap into a depth that no one else has been able to tap into in their life for a long time now. Maybe their whole life they've never been able to connect at that depth, and you weren't at risk of drowning. That's like your natural environment. That's their natural environment. And when that separation occurred and you swam away or whatever happened, um it caused them to overreact and instead go all the way to the top and exist at a like a superficial level. And with that, you know, if you take a deep water fish, like an anglerfish, that's real deep, right? That's like bathypelagic, epipelagic. So I don't know. God, you guys, it's really deep. The light doesn't even filter through. It's that deep. When you bring that up to the surface, there's a high likelihood that that's going to die because they're not designed to live on a superficial level. They're not designed for shallow living. And it's this thing of this, whoever this is, they're not designed for shallow living, and they're keeping a secret how much this is like killing them inside, and they're trying to secure themselves. Ooh, they're trying to secure their life. Every decision they make is not out of love. There is love, but they're not in love. It's a decision that's being made as part of their choice to secure their survival. Right? So, responsibility. You each have to take responsibility for the things you create and co-create, right? For example, they have to be responsible for the decisions they make, but you also have a co-responsibility for wounding in such a way that caused them to overreact in this way. You're not responsible for the decisions they made. You are co-responsible for the situation that eventually led to them making their own decisions, right? So it's not about blame. It's about recognizing what you choose will often affect the trajectory of all the people around you. So be responsible in the way you choose things. It's not that you're responsible for carrying everyone, it's that you're responsible for not blowing it up. They have other journeys they have to go on. Don't blow up the whole ship. Okay. Ethos, it's an upside down logic. You or they are, and this could be a friend, this doesn't have to be someone romantic. You or they are surrounded by a group logic that's upside down and toxic. Too many people are involved. That's what I'm hearing. Too many people are involved. And now Michael says, I have to be careful about clarifying. For some, because this is a general reading, for some, you're hearing what I'm saying and you're taking it as like, oh, see, they really love me and someone just told them to go away. And that's not the case. They went away because of toxicity. There was something toxic that was being created between the two of you. And so they went away. And for others, it's what I just said about, their environment has been encouraging a lot of avoidance, a lot of toxicity. And, that's what affected their decision making. And that the connectivity, the lessons, the co-creation of other circumstance to further learn, it's not yet done between the two of you. So there might need to be further communication still. You'll see, you'll find out if that applies to you. Okay. Dedication. There's no dedication. What's that apply to though? Is that applying to the person, like the self? Or are you talking about cross watchers? Oh. Contrary to what a lot of traditionally religious people believe, a pentagram, let me just school you really quick. This is not evil. This does not represent Lucifer or Baphomet or any of that. It's this. Understand the difference. Understand the difference. This is protection in all directions. A circle of protection in all directions. You are centered in the star. This is about protection. This is a different type of worship. Okay? When the top point is down, the two represent the horns and the ears of Baphomet. Okay? Two very different things. Understand, when you say that this is evil, that's the same thing as someone who doesn't know any better telling you that the upright cross is synonymous with the upside down cross. How offended would you be? Let's just be mindful. Let's be mindful. Okay. I'm not asking you to believe what other people believe. I'm just saying, let's be respectful of each other. So with this, the protection circle, it's been breached. It's been breached. I don't know what it means though. So the dedication. I think that might be too complex. That might be too complex of a... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Kitty Claw, what do you think? Like, it's making me sleepy. I don't know. Remembrance in reverse. an attempt to forget. When you forget the past, you're doomed to repeat it in the future. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Like, I know what to make of that for me myself. I don't know how to express that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and pull a final card. We have to stop pretending. Whatever it is we're pretending, you know, we have to stop pretending. Ooh. Michael says, it's your choice to live in the ditch and pretend to be dead. Just as easily as it's your choice to get up and choose to thrive. That's deep. And that's a general statement where, you know, we have to make these choices. We have to make these choices. We have to make choices. And when we allow ourselves to be so codependent, where I will not continue to live if you don't choose to stay here, because that's what I hear when I think of that logic. That's what I hear. That's so manipulative. That logic is very manipulative, because I've had someone do that to me. I have several people do that to me. That's ugly. Like, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I'll tell you guys this. If leaving is what you need to do in order for you to survive, leave. And if they say, you know, like, I die without you, send them flowers for their funeral, call them in for a 5150. Whatever, if you think it's a legitimate, like they're really truly going to self-harm, 911 time, call them in for a 5150. I am not your therapist. I am not your lifeline. I am my own human being. And I don't like that kind of crap. I've been told that before. I've been the recipient of that type of toxicity. I have no appreciation for it. It's toxic AF, it's manipulative AF, and it's just flat out evil. Flat out evil to see someone who is so highly sensitive, a highly sensitive empath, and to tell them that. Like, I'm talking about when people actually tell other people that. That's like the fastest way for me to turn on my Capricorn cold. Like, I'll send you flowers for your funeral. Where you at? Because I'm calling you in for a 5150. I don't play that mess. I don't play that mess at all. I take that very, very seriously. You're going to tell me you're going to hurt yourself unless I stay? You need psychiatric care. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a social worker. I'm not an RN, LVN, CNA. I'm not any of that. You need actual medical care. You need actual medical care. Y'all, don't let people play that shit with you. If someone says this to you, you literally ask them where they are. They probably think you're going to come running. As soon as you get off the phone, you say, help is coming. I'll call you back. You call 911. I need a welfare check. This person is a danger to themselves and to others. They've stated to me they're going to harm themselves. PD will come real quick along with an ambulance. You don't want to carry that on your heart or your soul. Anytime someone tells me they are going to harm themselves, I take that very seriously. I take that very seriously. If you're not truly going to harm yourself, don't say it. Especially not to me, because I'll call you in. I will call you in. I had someone who befriended me on Facebook, me and this other woman, and he became inappropriate, like he became disrespectful. So I was like, you need to stop or I'm going to block you. And he continued, so I blocked him. So our mutual friend then later calls me and is like, hey, have you spoken to blah, blah, blah? And I was like, no, I blocked them. They're fucking being crazy with me. Like, fuck that shit. We're not friends like that. And she's like, you need to call him. And I was like, why would I call him? She goes, he's talking about he's going to kill himself and he has a shotgun. What's his address? She was like, you're going to go there? I'm like, get his address. I'm going to call him once you have his address. And you're calling him in for a 5150. We're not going to be responsible for his death or killing someone else. She's like, oh my God, we can't do that. Yes, we abso-fucking-lutely will do that. We abso-fucking-lutely will do that. And I was on the phone with him when PD arrived. He's like, someone's knocking at the door. And I told him straight up, listen, you're going to be mad at me. We called 911. We don't want you to do anything to hurt yourself or to hurt someone else. Please put the shotgun on the kitchen counter. Walk to the front door. Let PD know with your hands in the air. Your shotgun is on the counter. I stayed with him on the phone. PD came. He did that. And he went to jail. I'm not the one to do that shit with. I will take it seriously. The way we stop that type of toxic behavior is by taking it seriously. I did not call him and cuss him out. He clearly was in an altered state of mind. He clearly was in an altered state of mind. And I said to him, listen, you have been acting really off and you needed to be blocked because your behavior is toxic to me. I'm really sorry. Okay, I understand you're sorry. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm saying you're being toxic tonight. You're being very toxic and you escalated that toxicity. Now I'm actually concerned. We have someone coming to help you. I didn't lie to him. I told him straight up in a very calm manner. We've called someone to come and make sure you're okay. We are very worried that you're going to hurt yourself or you're going to hurt someone else. This is not a joke to me. Are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm not okay. Okay, someone is coming to make sure you're okay. Are you going to hurt yourself? It's just a really bad day. Okay, so I understand what you're saying. You're not thinking clearly. And so that means we need people to come to make sure you remain safe and the people around you remain safe. Okay. I explained it. It wasn't this like, let me get your address and then keep you. No. I mean, he did remain blocked. I don't need that kind of toxicity in my life. It's okay for me to have standards that restrict people's access to me when they behave in that way. And it's not that he's not good enough to be a friend. It's that when I see that you're toxic and I'm highly sensitive to toxicity, I have an obligation to myself and my family to not allow you to get further into my space. But Emmie, you have to help people. I have to keep my family safe from me taking in toxicity and reflecting that type of behavior. First and foremost, my obligation is to my children and my husband. Anything that jeopardizes our family peace will not be tolerated. And no, my husband did not ask me to block. I was just like, oh no, motherfucker, too much. You too much right now. You doing too much. Just too much. I cannot with you. I cannot with you. You know, this is how we have to handle it. Now, I'm not saying call them in for a 5150 and be like, that's what you, nope. Being very matter of fact, you know what? The things you have said concerns me. I'm actually genuinely concerned. When you say these types of things, I have to take it seriously. And because I'm not licensed, I'm not certified, I'm not trained for that type of life circumstance, we're going to need you to get you the actual help. We're going to need to get you the actual help. And what I've learned is when people say those things and you like come and, you know, like, oh my God, what's wrong? I'm going to stay with you. If they're manipulative, you've just opened the door for the worst type of manipulation. The worst type, because anytime they don't get their way, anytime their control over you is going to be removed, I'm going to kill myself. That's a serious statement. You don't just ignore that. You do not just ignore that. You know, like my son told me once, he's an adult. My son told me once that I think it was like in Discord or something like that, one of the other people, kids, they're teens, adults, but teens, she wanted something, or someone wanted something and the parent said no, or they wanted to go somewhere and the parent said no. One of the other ones was like, tell your parents to kill yourself if they don't let you go. You know what my son said? Yeah, no, my mom fucking crazy. If I were to say that shit, I bet she said I better mean it because she's gonna call me in at a 5150 and get me the help I need. He's telling me this. I was like, yeah, son, I would. I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself. He goes, no, I get it. I get it. That's stupid shit to say. It is. If you don't really mean that, oh my God. People need to be held accountable for what they say. You really don't want that on your consciousness where maybe this is the one time where they really will hurt themselves. And that's, get them the help that they need. When people are held accountable for the things they say, either they're going to get the psychological help they need from that eval, or they're going to understand, like, okay, I can't do that to her anymore. You know, I can't say that because she's going to call me in. Either way, it stops that. You don't want to live as a hostage to words. Card number 22, the lion and the deer. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly towards heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair in yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. You are the lion and the deer. You are bold, fierce, and vibrant, and you are the silent, sweet, gentle. And you are silent, sweet, and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until the falsehood quakes in fear. So terrified it gives up the game and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are so gentle with me. Like a deer, you offer me nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then I do not fear my own errors, for even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw energy, evoking the tenderness to you, or in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love, is what you give me. For you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer, gentle at the mildest breezes of spring. Okay, this oracle brings you a special message. You are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self is the most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. You are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. The discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, or other judgments. It may even be about who you are, if you now admit your talent or other emerging personality traits. Perhaps what's being unearthed in you now is darker, your sacred rage, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well, then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in the world. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. This guidance, the guidance this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper most now if you're willing to unbecome what you have believed yourself to be. It was never really true anyway, that view. It was partial at best and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. So this also includes the way we see ourselves and the way our interactions with other people have played out. We're not victims. We are not victims. We are not victims to circumstance. We make choices to decide things and choose options or to not. And then we enter into this place of living what the outcome is. Now, when it comes to domestic violence, that's not okay. That is not okay. I don't give a damn about causation and effect. That is not okay. It is not okay to batter someone. That is not okay. I don't care what they choose. That is not okay, woman or man. It is not okay. I want to make that very clear. The physical violations, whatever type of physical violation, is not okay, ever. That includes ladies putting hands on men thinking because you own a vajayjay, they should not be able to protect themselves. And men, I don't think you should be striking people, especially women. But fuck no. Grab their arms, pin them down, and be like, listen, this is going to be your only warning. Stop striking me. I don't believe that physical violence is the answer unless you have no other options when it comes to defending yourself. Excessive emotions is not a valid reason, regardless of what your gender is. It is not a valid reason. And yes, I can hold you to that standard. I don't care what happened. Excessive use of physicality is still excessive use. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what your gender is. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to. We have to hold ourselves accountable. And, I don't know who needs to hear this, but saying hella stuff like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna hit me? You gonna hit me? Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Think on that. Because you're inviting that. You can't then later be like, what? No. You seeded that thought. Take accountability. Take accountability. This is about taking accountability. This is about really recognizing where your life has gone, why it's gone that way. It goes obviously far beyond the physicalities of excessiveness, but it's time for us to take accountability, to see, to humble ourselves with the truth of what we've actually created for ourselves. Okay? I got to get going. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Excuse me. Michael was talking to me last night. Like I thought I was going to bed. And then he got me out of bed and he told me I had to do a very important live stream later on today. It has to do with expedites. I got to get going though. I don't have time. Give this video a thumbs up and wait for the notification. I will be going live later on this evening for expedites. It's a very important one. I'll see you guys again. Bye, everyone.